In the year and a half since they lost the semifinal at Sky Dome, the Argonauts have not stood pat. They've changed from the top down. They've added an even-tempered head coach. They've seen the pinball develop into the CFL's most valuable player. They continue to benefit from the sure hands of a brilliant receiver. They've acquired a punishing linebacker who leads the league in tackles. And they've made headlines all over the continent by signing the Rocket, who had the best game of his young career last week.
If you pin them in and try to cup around the returner, then you got a problem because pinball will bounce to the outside and he'll go for the touchdown.
Donegan injured in the second quarter of the opening game for the Argos. Fakes it once. Darrell K. Smith is open.
Yes, a bit of music to set the mood here, folks. $30 GST included. Doesn't get you much these days, but it will get you a chintzy-looking trophy and a 1976 Olympic shirt to give to the player who accumulates the most yardage on kickoff and punt returns. It's the CBC's Return to Sender Award, and what player wouldn't die for a shirt that took 15 years to come into style? The leader in Week 6 of the season is in tonight's game. Saskatchewan's Willis Jaycox padded that lead with a 108-yard run back against the Argonauts last week, and I'm sorry to say that he didn't know anything about this return to sender business when we talked to him in practice yesterday, but he's fully aware of it now, and let me tell you, folks, fired up to retain the lead. Steve?
Thank you, Scott. I want to hear you sing the first few bars of that song sometime. Do your Elvis impersonation. 1st and 10 Argos from their own 45. Foggy just loops it over the middle. Clemens complete down to the 45-yard line of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And it would appear that Foggy was shaken up on the play. Warman under pressure, looking for Elgart, picked off. Don Wilson's 3rd interception of the year. And a nifty 11-yard return for Wilson. So a turnover puts the Argos in excellent field position. 1st and 10 from the Riders' 23. Foggy looking into the corner. Touchdown! The first time in the game they go to the Rocket, and it's a touchdown. The 2nd TD of his young professional career.
Well, the Rocket runs a great route. He knows the ball's coming inside. He outruns him, but you got to hand it to Foggy. Everybody was worried that maybe on that last hit that he took, that his shoulder was injured. Well, his shoulder didn't look injured on that play.
And Lance Chomick tries the point after. It is good. And the Toronto Argonauts hoping to sweep the Saskatchewan Roughriders for the first time since 1985. Take a 10-0 lead.
Well, the Rocket said, hey, it's easy. All I have to do is outrun the guy and they'll put the ball where it belongs. And that's exactly what Foggy did. He put the ball the only place there could be a reception. The only place that was open, low into the inside, touchdown.
The Rocket had an excellent game against the Riders last week. 7 catches for 146 yards, but no TD. Foggy paid for that one.
Well, as a quarterback, you always have to pay the price. And Ricky Foggy knows that. That's what he's been doing so well. As a experienced quarterback now, he's in his 3rd year, he's able to take some shots. He's able to relax enough.
Back in South Carolina, Mom and Dad. How y'all doing?
He's able to relax enough to get that football in there when he has to.
Again, Chomick with the short kickoff, and again it's Brown. for the third straight time. And Brown is brought down at the 35-yard line by Kevin Smelly. The Argos still lead 10-3, and they have the ball 1st and 10 from their own 35. A double reverse. Darrell K. Smith winds up with it. Gets to the 35-yard line, which was the original line of scrimmage, and Richie Hall was there to meet it. Riders read that perfectly. Foggy puts it up, and it's intercepted. Touchdown, Sean Dykes. Intercepting Ricky Foggy, a 56-yard interception return for the touchdown. And all of a sudden, the Riders are back into this one.
Well, the wall, that Sean Dykes is some kind of football player. He played off the ball. You can see the wall cave in on Foggy. I don't know if he got his full range of motion. His tackle got stuffed back into him, but Sean Dykes picked off the ball and takes it all the way for 6. That's a nice run by Sean Dykes, a Mid-American Conference football player. Bowling Green State University. I used to hate those guys.
And the convert is good from Dave Ridgway. We are tied at 10. Don't go away. Back to the Skydome in Toronto, where the Saskatchewan Roughriders appear to be out of this game at one point. They just come back to tie it at 10. And this is the Rocket. Good second effort by the Rocket to get up just shy of the 50-yard line. We're tied at 10, early second quarter. Foggy under pressure. Jurison was there for the Riders, and Foggy goes down.
You know, you got to give a lot of credit to the defensive line of Saskatchewan. They've been making some plays in this ballgame.
1st and 10 Riders from their own 32. Nelson Jones up the middle. Fumble. Still loose. Argonauts indicating they've recovered.
Well, we talked about turnovers, and that certainly gives a team a lift. It reverses the field. It gives you 50, 60 yards when you take a look at the whole picture. Big play here because they've got the football on the 35-yard line now.
Certainly shortens the field for the offense when the defense can do that kind of job.
You know, those quarterbacks love to get in there when the ball is on the plus side of the field. Anything inside the 35, you usually consider the score zone because you're going to get at least a field goal.
Keep your eye on number 90, Leonard Johnson. He's the one that eventually winds up with the football. Mad scramble at this point.
Ryan Warren had a shot at it, but Darrell Ford is the guy that caused the fumble. And he did a great job of putting his head where the ball was.
Complete to Smith. Smith knocked out of bounds at the 26.5-yard line by David McCrary. There's the man who recovered the fumble and gave Ricky Foggy and the Argonaut offense good field position.
Now Leonard Johnson was alert. Looked like Brian Warren had it, but Leonard Johnson came in and scooped it up.
They've moved the ball to the 26-yard line of the Riders. The Argos now 1st and 10. Foggy complete to the pinball. Touchdown!
Looked like a face mask penalty. What you had was Ricky Foggy faking the draw play back to the inside, and he came out. Michael Clements was open right in the flat, and he delivered the ball on time. Perfect pass. Michael Clements took it right up the sideline.
And Lance Chomek will try the point after. As usual, it is good. and the Toronto Argonauts go in front by a touchdown, 17-10. Plenty of action remaining, second quarter. Immediately following his touchdown, Mike Clemens went over and gave the ball to his mother, Ann Bryant. A nice gesture from the pinball following his first touchdown of the season receiving. He has 1 touchdown rushing and now 1 receiving, and his mother was a recipient of the football.
I think his mother gave him some good looks. He looks like his mom.
Scott?
Well, Steve, it's an early night for Argo starting Centerine Beckstead, who's pulled his groin and will not play again this evening, but his offensive line mates will be in there to battle these humid conditions that you talked about. You know, in weather like this, many of the offensive linemen who go between 260 and 280 pounds will sweat off as much as 10 pounds each. That's a total weight loss of about 250 pounds for the offensive line. No cheap jokes here, folks, about anybody in the broadcast booth who's got to lose weight. Back to Steve and Joe.
I think that applies to both of us. You don't have to worry about insulting one or the other. Jeff Fairholm receiving that pass from Warman. 2nd and 10. Warman with some time, and then time runs out, and he's sacked by Mike Campbell.
Mike Campbell knew what he had to do. 2nd and long yardage. You just pin your ears back and go after them. I thought Warman had a chance to throw the football, and he held on to it. That's what John Gregory's trying to get him to not do. Don't take the sack. Throw it away.
A punting situation for the Riders. 3rd and 16. Ozeki gets it away from the 20. Taken by Pinball Clemens. Could go. Good run from Mike Pinball Clemens. A 42-yard return. Here at the Skydome in Toronto, the Argos are 1st and 10 from the Riders' 22. Foggy under pressure, gets away. Touchdown, Ricky Foggy. Chomik will attempt the point after, and the exchange is bobbled. The Riders having some fun with it. Finally out of bounds at the midfield stripe. All of that coming off a bad exchange from the center to the holder, hoping that Lance Chomik could get the kick away, which he couldn't.
That could have been a 2-point play. It's Foggy's 6th touchdown run of the season. And what Foggy did on it very clearly was shake loose Rasevich on the tackle. Rasevich has a piece of him. We talked about Foggy's strength, elusive ability. He shook him loose, got a nice block by Prunster downfield, and went in for the touchdown. Watch Rasevich have one. He got him with one arm, but he couldn't quite get him. Foggy's speed and athletic ability takes over. He actually outruns Eddie Lowe.
You are not going to stop Ricky Foggy with a one-arm tackle. Ricky Foggy now tied for the lead in the CFL for rushing touchdowns. That says something about the CFL when the quarterback is tied for the lead.
And the guy he's tied with is a little different personality and body structure than Foggy. That Marshall Blake has been doing a great job of just running over people. Foggy sort of runs in and around them.
Ted Wall is in the game for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, replacing Rick Warman. Wall sprinting right, has some room. has the first down with about 3 or 4 yards to spare. And Leonard Johnson for the Toronto Argonauts in pursuit of Ted Wall.
Well, I saw Leonard Marshall get blocked, but then Holman, watch the end of this. Holman trips over the blocker coming in, Ray Elgard. Elgard got 2 for the price of 1. It is not easy to fall on artificial turf.
Ray Elgard came very, very close to a clip there, but he managed to get the helmet in front of the leg, and therefore the flag didn't go down. 6:30 till halftime. High punt. Pinball Clemens under it. Flag is down. Clemens knocked back to the 45-yard line, but we'll have to see what this flag is all about. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more from the Skydome in just a moment.
An update on Harold Hallman. That was a nasty-looking collision with Ray Elgard. The word from the Argo bench on Hallman is they're worried about a possible crack of the small bone just above his left ankle. They'll know in a few minutes when the pain subsides if it is cracked. If it is, then he's done for a while. If it isn't, when the pain goes away, Harold Hallman will go back in. Steve?
Thank you, Scott. And once again, the Toronto Argonauts have themselves in good field position following that kick return from Pinball Clemens. 112 all-purpose yards so far tonight for the Pinball. The roof is open at the Skydome under what have now become threatening skies. I mentioned very hot and humid here in Toronto, and not a bad crowd for this game against the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
You know, Steve, I wonder how it would sound in here with that roof closed.
Noisy. I was here 2 years ago for the Grey Cup. Outstanding. This is foggy. Lots of room. And I think he just ran out of steam. He went out of bounds at the 26-yard line after a big pickup for Ricky Foggy, 36 yards. David McCrary was finally there to stop Ricky Foggy, and he is smiling from ear to ear. I don't know whether that's fatigue or a smile.
Well, he tells me he's getting in better shape, game shape.
Don't have the right swing. Single point, 24-10. Argos in front. 1st and 10 Riders from their own 35. Fumble! Brazeley! And Brazeley down inside the 50-yard line. Ted Wall found his man with the pass, but he was unable to hang on, and Brazeley was there to pick it up.
Chris Gaines is a middle linebacker. He's one of those guys that's all over the field. Carl Brazeley has good position on it, but Gaines made a tremendous hit. He's finally brought down by
Ed Berry forced that fumble. Good play by Gaines and a good play by Brazeley, but we've got an injured Argonaut down on the field. Darryl Ford, the injured player.
Well, they don't want Darryl Ford to be down for long because he's the guy that does a lot of things for them. He's blitzing. He gets good pressure when he's out blitzing. And yet he's a good coverage man. When they need good pass coverage, they drop Darryl Ford back. He's a guy that's all over the field.
Good fake by Foggy. Finally pitches it out to the Rocket. And the Rocket forced out of bounds just shy of the 40-yard line. They mark it inside the 40, down to about 38.
Adam Rita loves this wishbone type football. He's bringing the Rocket around on the pitch. Ricky Foggy comes out, he's actually running option football like he ran in college at Minnesota.
And what makes that work so well is the fact that Foggy is such a good ball carrier himself. Lots of time for Foggy. Elects to keep it himself. finally brought down inside the 10.
Well, what do you say about Ricky Foggy? This kid is a super athlete, and he's a winner. Foggy is trapped back at the line of scrimmage, and he actually hops, skips, and jumps rope over some swinging arms and legs, and still gets down to the 10-yard line. That's a super effort.
The Argos continue to lead the Rough Riders 24-10. Adam Rita very content with the job that his team has done, especially Ricky Foggy. 129 yards passing, 102 rushing himself. He is having an outstanding game. Gives to pinball. Touchdown!
Ricky Foggy drops back to show pass, and he hands the ball off in a Statue of Liberty play for the pinball. And he takes it all the way around the end and in for a touchdown. That's a nice looking football play, and it was set up by Foggy's effectiveness as a runner, because everybody was concerned about Foggy.
And again, poor exchange on the snap, but they're still alive. And once again, they do a fumbling act, but finally the play is stopped.
Well, that's a two-point play. If Saskatchewan gets the ball and takes it downfield, they can make 2 points on it. Of course, 2 points can be had by Toronto as well.
I've got a feeling that they're going to work on that in the next 5 days.
Well, Schmidt is the snapper. Maybe he's putting too much on it. One thing you don't want to do as a holder. Well, here's Ricky showing pass, and then in the Statue of Liberty, giving the ball back to the pinball, and pinball is homeward bound.
And once again, Clemens gives the ball to a family member, this time to his sister.
How many family members does he have here? We don't have that many footballs.
First one to his mother, and
no cousins. No cousins.
That time he gave it to his sister, Kelly. 122 all-purpose yards for Clemens, and that's his second TD of the season rushing. Both have come at the expense of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. The Argonauts in front by 20, 30-10, 2:42 till halftime. This is Albert Brown. Flag is down. Brown has a hole. Knocked out of bounds at the 49-yard line by Ed Berry. Wall. Intercepted almost by Braisley, and there's a flag on the play.
I don't think this guy has taken many hits. He's too elusive.
He's taken a couple from the critics. And he used to be a football player. His career ended with a couple of bad knee injuries.
You know, the critics only buy one ticket to the movies, and the fans buy a lot. So I don't think Uncle Buck worries too much about the critics.
He's got a new movie out these days called Delirious.
Which is what Scott Oak is right now. Scott Oak has to be delirious.
Wayne Gretzky and some of his Team Canada teammates in attendance tonight here at the Sky Dome. Of course, Gretzky and Team Canada will be in action in the Canada Cup. This is the Rocket. Brought down at the 35-yard line by Richie Hall. 2nd and 10 Argos from the 47. Foggy complete to the Rocket. And the Rocket down just shy of the 35-yard line. Should be good for the first down. On that penalty against the Argos, it is now 1st and 15 from the 41. Foggy airs it out. Oh, a great catch from Boyd inside the 5.
Foggy drops back, He knows where he's going. He's looking at the receiver all the way, but hey, there's only one guy out there. Boyd outruns the cornerback. The safety doesn't have time to get over. That's a big play. They're on the 5-yard line.
A 36-yard gain off of that superb catch by Jeff Boyd. They are having a ball here at the Skydome, and why not? Their team leads by 20, 30-10, and they are second and goal with the ball spotted at the 5.
There's the wishbone.
This is the option. He uses it. A dangerous play, but it provides the Rocket with another touchdown.
Well, that's the old college play. The quarterback comes out, gets a nice block, and he pitches the ball out here. And Ismail takes the handoff, the pitch out. Gets a good lead block from Kelly. Foggy actually blocked his man, Jurison, and it's a touchdown.
They were very fortunate that there was no fumble on the play, but you got to be good to be lucky. That time, no fumble on the exchange. From the center to Masadi, they were able to get it down in time for Chomik to put it through the uprights, and the Argonauts lead 37-10.
Well, it's an old college play. Ricky Foggy fakes inside to Kelly. Gets a good block by Clements. He blocks Jurison. Pitch out to Ismail for a touchdown. There's Ismail knowing that he's going to get the pitch out, knowing people respect Foggy. How do you stop that many skilled people in the backfield at once?
7 plays, 90 yards. It took him 1 minute and 27 seconds, and it was capped by Foggy with a Michael Jordan type move, dishing off to the Rocket. Lucius Floyd has a bit of a hole and a good return. Kevin Costello there to make the stop. A 41-yard kick and a 20-yard return. Make that Keith Costello. My mistake. Well, they're going to try a long field goal. Ridgeway. And it doesn't make it. It's short. And this is the Rocket. Lots of blocking. Lucius Floyd there to bring down the Rocket. And that ends the first half of play here at the Skydome. A big lead for the Argos, 37-10.
Lonnie Gleiberman wants the CFL in Detroit, and John Candy is very happy that he does. John Candy, of course, co-owner of it.
Scare him away there for a minute.
Did you think so?
Sure.
I wasn't that tough on him, was I?
You were tough on him.
Anyway, John Candy is with us in his capacity as chairman of the CFL's expansion committee. You've had more interest than just from Detroit, haven't you?
Yeah, from Portland as well, but you know, Detroit was first to come in. We haven't really explored Portland yet. There's actually 2 ventures there that we have to look at, and we'll do that in the next week and a half. One from Jack Obilovich, Bob's brother, and a group that has asked us to play July 4th of next year, an exhibition game down there. So that's to be determined. We got to go see the site. We don't want to, you know, looky-loos, and we don't want to be somebody's halftime show. There's also, I think they're choosing their junior basketball team for Barcelona or something. So, you know, we have to be very careful about what we're doing.
Quickly, John, your expansion committee met yesterday. Did you set guidelines? Did you determine when you want to add some teams, how many, how much they cost, anything like that?
First and foremost, we have to look at solving the problems that we have within the original 8, which we're very close to doing. Hopefully next week we'll have an announcement with Ottawa and with Calgary. Shore that up, make sure everything's in shape. Then we're going to look at expansion within the next year or 2.
John Candy, thanks very much for your time. This is great news. Everybody talking about expansion, isn't it?
Isn't it great?
Okay.
Who would have thunk it, huh?
Well, we're talking expansion, but Toronto's had a team in the CFL for all of this league 79 years, and Steve, it looked pretty good in the first half of this game.
So there's one thing the Saskatchewan Roughriders have to do in the second half, and that is contain Foggy, because the Argos lead 37-10. As you might expect, with the Argos leading 37-10, the first half stats favor the Argos. 308 yards total yardage for the Argos in that first half. Play selection, both teams mixing up well.
Of course, the rush is distorted with Toronto because Foggy rushes when it's a called pass, and then they run the option play, which is almost a lateral pass.
Ridgway just squibs one down. The Rocket picks it up, looking for running room on the outside, and he's brought down at the 32-yard line. James King downfield to make the stop for the Riders. A 47-yard kick and only a 4-yard return, and that is certainly one way to nullify the big returns of the pinball and the Rocket.
Well, I think that goes back to my theory of cross-country kick returns. You can't go across the country. You've got to get it up in there somehow.
The man of the half, Ricky Foggy, on the sidelines, and Willie Gillis will start the second half at quarterback for the Argos. So Foggy gets a well-deserved rest. See what Gillis can do. Complete to the Rocket. Yeah, good effort. Gets Rocket up to the 41-yard line. Sean Dykes there to bring him down.
Willie Gillis is a big, strong football player. He was at Norfolk State. He had about every record you can have in college passing. What he would like to do is to get in and show the coaches that at any time they can go to him and they won't lose anything. He's not quite the runner that Foggy is, but he's got a good, strong arm. And if he shows patience, which is what Adam Rita told us yesterday, he wants to see Gillis show more patience, move the chains, be able to put drives together rather than just go for the long pass every time.
2nd and 5 now for the Argos from their own 36. Gillis floats one over the middle, complete. Darrell K. Smith down inside the 35.
That was a perfect pass. Gillis dropped back, read the zone coverage, and he put the football right where it had to be.
This time the give to the pinball. Was trapped, isn't anymore. Touchdown!
Well, the pinball ran about 400 yards. He made about 40.
Procedure. Charter number 66. First down.
That guy's so exciting to watch. This is a Statue of Liberty play that we saw earlier. But watch him reverse his field. He turned around, reversed his field, went back the other direction, reversed his field again. He put a lot of mileage on the charts.
And it's all for naught. Penalty against the Argos, a legal procedure, nullifies an excellent run by the pinball. Takes them back 5 yards, where it's now 1st and 15, and the ball's at the 40. Gillis, complete to Smith. And Smith is brought down at the 30. 2nd and 5 from the 30. From the shotgun. Gillis to a wide open pinball. Clemens shakes off one tackle. Has he got any gas left? Down inside the 15-yard line. Longest serving head coach in the CFL with 5 years experience. Punt from Lasecki. Taken by the Rocket. He is tough to bring down. Lots of pressure and a sack. Darrell Ford.
There's another problem with the young quarterback. They seem to start to go on the same snap count. Darrell Ford anticipated the snap count perfectly. You see, he gets through before the line even had a chance to get their hand off the ground. I think you have to fault the quarterback. You can't go on the same snap count every time. It gives the defense too much of a head start. There's a good football player, Darrell Ford. He told us yesterday, he said, don't brag about me. I want to stay low-key. I just want to go out and play good football. Don't build me up too much. I'm sorry, Darryl. You're making too many good plays. We got to brag about you.
Punt from Lasecki goes off the side of his foot and out of play. And almost a great grab by our cameraman on the golf cart.
This has been Toronto's problem. They seem to go into the doldrums every once in a while on offense.
Foggy complete to the Rocket. And a Rocket down inside the 30-yard line. What I like is the way he bounces off that first hit. Foggy complete again to the Rocket. Out of bounds at the 14-yard line. Stacey Hairston over there to push him out of play.
Some people have been critical of the Rocket, and I think mostly because he makes a lot of money. But he is a legitimate receiver. He is not a track man, and he looks the football in. He puts the football away. That's a very important quality in a receiver, to take that ball, put it away before you do some things with it.
First and 10 Argos from their own, or the Riders' 14-yard line. They lead 41-10. Should be the last play of the third quarter. Foggy puts it up. Touchdown! Jeff Boyd.
Foggy's reading the blitz. He audibled. It drops back. Before the blitz gets there, he puts it to Boyd, who beat Hairston. It's a touchdown. But Foggy read it all the way as a blitz coming.
Lance Chomik is good on the point after. And the Toronto Argonauts continue to pour it on. They now lead 48-10. It's amazing where you can get the Toronto Argonaut owner to sign his autograph.
Oh, this is Hollywood. Hollywood North.
I've never seen one there before. Gillis. Complete to the Rocket. And again, very impressed with the way the Rocket runs after he makes the reception.
Well, that's what you want in a receiver. You want a receiver that's going to catch the football, put it away, and then run with it. Do something after you catch the football. It goes on the books as a 15-yard gain or an 8-yard gain, but it was really about a 3-yard pass.
You notice his feet never stop moving. Makes him very difficult to bring down. That's the 5th sack of the game for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. 2nd and 12 Argos. Gillis. Smith complete. And Smith has the first down with about 12 to 15 yards to spare. Glenn Suter made the stop on Smith, and if he hadn't, Smith was gone. A 27-yard gain for Darrell K. Smith as he goes over the 100-yard mark in receiving. 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line of the Riders. This is Mike Clemens. Reverses his field. Got some blocks. Look out. Touchdown, the pinball.
What a football play, that Mike Clemens. I'll tell you what he did. He went to the left. It was a toss 39 sweep. He started out to the left, saw that everybody was pursuing that way. Gillis came around, trying to come around and doing a fake, and ended up being a key block on Richie Hall. Gillis at the bottom of the screen. Michael Clemens is gone. Now he's got a football for his fiancée.
And the point after is good from Lance Chomik as the Toronto Argonauts continue to add to their total in the fourth quarter here at the Skydome. 2 touchdowns by the rush, 1 by the pass, the hat trick for the pinball, Mike Clemens.
Well, what Mike Clemens likes to do is run to daylight. He caught everybody on Saskatchewan trying to pursue. They were actually doing a great job of pursuit. Willie Gillis came over and made the key block on Richie Hall. And Michael did the rest virtually on his own. This guy has got 3 touchdowns tonight.
And the family of the pinball have their 3 balls, the mother, the sister, and the fiance. You're looking at Willis Jaycox, who is on the Saskatchewan bench getting some treatment. Does not look good for the Riders. This is the pinball in search of touchdown number 4 for the Argos. 1st and 10 from the 2. And a fumble. And the Argos recover.
Well, the ball was never in the running back's hands.
The wishbone formation. Kevin Smelly, touchdown.
Well, you've seen all facets of the wishbone. We talked about the flash fake. That wasn't a fake. That ball was given to Kevin Smelly. Willie Gillis came out faking like he was going to run the option, but Smelly, good prospect. He and Kelly are both fine fullbacks. Smelly played at the University of Massachusetts. He's a power runner.
Lance Chomik will attempt the point after, and it is good. So the Toronto Argonauts continue to do everything right, and now have a commanding 62-10 mark. 2nd and 7 for the Argos. The ball's at the 50. Gillis going long. The Rocket. Oh, no! The Rocket can't hang on, but flags come down. Sean Dykes defending on the play.
Well, I think Sean did what he had to do. That was a touchdown. The Rocket had him outrun. Sean just knocked it out.
1st and goal. Gillis puts it up, looking for Smith. Incomplete. 2nd and goal from the 2. Gillis for Boyd, no good. And they are indeed going to go for it. 3rd and goal from the 2. Gillis puts it up. And Jeff Boyd got a piece of it, but again, wasn't able to hang on. Good high spiral from Lazecki. This will be taken by the Rocket at the 41. Good initial move, still on his feet. Great balance by the Rocket, still going. Oh, tremendous return by the Rocket, not very far, but great second effort by the Rocket on that punt return.
Well, that Rocket, he looks like he's taking lessons from pinball. He won't let anybody tackle him.
1st and 10 from the 44. Fred McNair, the quarterback now, and J.P. John Paul Izquierdo was the ball carrier. So the bench is really going to get a workout here in the late seconds in this game for the Argos.
Well, JP's one of those special teams players, and he's putting a special effort in on this play. He's running people over.
McNair, the quarterback. He's the 3rd string quarterback. Ricky Foggy started. Gillis has seen action, and now it's McNair's turn. And McNair tried to find Jeff Boyd down at the 10-yard line. It's incomplete. Not very often you get to see a third-string quarterback in a game, but McNair, I'm sure, will appreciate the time that he's about to see.
You can imagine Jeff Boyd's frustration. He's seen 3 quarterbacks tonight. He's trying to get his touchdown, but that ball.
Drew Murray talking to McNair, probably telling him to calm down, take your time. Just do what you've done so many times in practice. Less than a minute to play, 4th quarter. Complete to Smith. Smith not going to go past the 25-yard line in the grasp of Sean Dykes. Three touchdowns for that man tonight. Boy, when you consider an MVP in this game, his name has to be right up there along with Ricky Foggy.
Yeah, there aren't many quarterbacks in this league that have 370 yards passing and 170 yards rushing in one game.
For pinball, 69 yards rushing, 65 receiving, 64 in a punt return, and 3 touchdowns. Not a bad night's work. Keith Kelly still going. And Kelly gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Met by Wayne Drinkwalder and David Albright.
I think some pride showed through there. You saw a lot of pursuit on the part of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And Dave Albright's down on one knee. He's trying to find some wind. Jurison looks like he's a little bit upset with the way things went tonight, and I think that's the way you want your defense going into another game.
This has been an awesome offensive performance by the Toronto Argonauts. Matt Dunnigan, who should see some action for the Argos next week against the Eskimos. This should be the final play of the game. Gives to Lucius Floyd, and a fitting way for this game to win. Lucius Floyd is dropped for a loss, courtesy of Harold Hallman. So mercifully for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, this one is over. They lose 62-10.
Well, I know Adam Reed has got to be happy because all of his skilled people had a chance to show what they could do tonight. They shared in this victory. He's got to be pleased with the defense holding him to 10 points.
The Toronto Argonauts were a dominant force offensively last year. They're back again, 62-10 winners over the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Argonauts continue to roll it home. They're 3 for 3 at the Sky Dome this season. They steamrolled tonight, and this win thanks in part to our Molson MVP, Mike Pinball Clemens. A lot of stars in this Argonaut team, but Clemens shone brightest of all, we thought. He scored 2 touchdowns running, 1 on a pass. This was his 3rd major of the night. Used all his moves to go 49 yards and help the Argos to a 62-10 win. He is our Molson MVP. And so the Argonauts confirm their status as class of the East Division. They're 5-1 as a result of this win, while the Saskatchewan Roughriders, far removed from Grey Cup form of 20 months ago, fall now to 1-5.